Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. I'm not your Uber. I was picking my girlfriend up at the airport. This was a few years ago. Uber was already big, but not as big as it is now. Our nearest airport is in a major city, so it's always hectic picking somebody up. The cop/yellow vest traffic guys don't like you waiting around at all. So I get there and it's taking my girlfriend a few minutes longer to get her checked bag than we anticipated. I'm on the phone with her and she says, I see it, I've got to go, don't leave." So the traffic vest guy is waving at me and I roll down my window and say, "I'm picking somebody up, she's just on her way, etc., trying to buy myself some time." I hear my trunk open and I'm so relieved. She jumps in the back and I thought it was a little weird, but she took a red eye and I figured she was just going to lie down in the back and go back to sleep. I say something along the lines of, "Oh, perfect timing, how was your flight?" and I couldn't hear her response. It was super loud with honking and cops shouting, so as she closes the door, I'm so focused on trying to find a spot to pull out, I don't even look back, I just say, "You good?" and she says, "Mm-hmm." And as I'm pulling out, I'm thinking, wait. And as I'm driving away, I look in the back and realize this woman is not my girlfriend, it's some teenage kid. I'm freaking out as I'm driving away, and desperately looking for a spot to pull over, but by this point I'm in the middle lane with rushing outflow of traffic. And when I finally saw a space, a cop or just a traffic director, I couldn't tell, very aggressively told me I couldn't stop there. While I'm trying to pull over, I'm like, "Who are you?" She says, Molly? "Molly, I don't know you. What is this? What are you doing?" "Were you expecting to know me?" I'm so confused at this point, my heart is racing, and it's all I can do to not crash my car, because it's 4 AM and a strange kid got in my car at the airport, and my first thought was, I'm being framed for a crime or something. I didn't know what to think. "Why are you in my car? I'm pulling over." "Why are you pulling over?" "I don't know you." "What? What? What is going on? Is this because it's a long trip? You can't cancel because of where I'm going, that's not allowed." I take a few seconds to try and figure out what she's talking about, while merging into a busy highway. Then it hits me. I am not your Uber. "What?" "I'm pulling over." "You're lying." "Why would I lie about that? Look at your app. Does the driver look like me?" "I don't know, it's blurry. You're driving a Toyota Camry. You are my Uber driver. Don't lie to me." "There were a dozen Toyotas back there. How could you be so dumb that you'd get into a strange car without checking first?" At this point, she starts crying and I feel bad for snapping. "Look, I'm sorry. I just don't want to appear on the news as man drives teenage girl away from airport or anything, and you really caught me by surprise and I'm sorry. I should not have yelled. I'm going to circle back around to the airport. I have to pick my girlfriend up anyways, so I'll bring you back and..." "No!" "No? No! Let me out! Let me out!" She starts grabbing at the door handle of the moving car. Thankfully, it locks automatically when I start driving. "Oh my god, what are you doing?" "I don't know you." My worst nightmare is coming true. Hey, it's okay, it's a mistake. I'm not going to hurt you, I'm taking you back to the airport." She's crying again. "This might be a bit of an overreaction, okay? It's fine, I'm not dangerous, I'm just clueless. Look, I'm going back to the airport, see? I'm taking the exit." "You knew." "Knew what?" "You knew you weren't my Uber." Truly and totally my worst freaking nightmare ever coming true in this moment. No, I did not. I am taking you to the airport, see? See? Terminal sign, we are like 3 minutes away. Seriously. Stop! I can't stop here. This is a highway. There wasn't even a shoulder. Her crying, stop, let me out. I don't believe you. Stop, I don't believe you. I literally couldn't have stopped my car where we were without serious risk of causing a major accident, and it was not a safe place for a person to walk or even stand, so I was stuck. I'm calling 911. I'm calling 911 if you do not let me out. Look, we are a minute away from the airport. You can see the terminal, look. She continues sobbing. We get there. I park and thank God she didn't call the cops, and I see my many missed calls and texts from my poor girlfriend. This girl bolts out of my car screaming, "Help! Help! Help!" Cops and guys in yellow vests, whatever they are, surround my car. I'm taken for questioning, and it takes so long that my car is almost towed. Thankfully, they allowed my girlfriend to park it. Thankfully, it created such a spectacle that my girlfriend was able to notice this happening and vouch for me being there at the airport to pick her up, and not pose as an Uber driver to abduct a teenage kid, and park my car. By the end, the misunderstanding was completely sorted out, and the girl had calmed down, and she and her parents over the phone apologized and explained it was her first time traveling alone or being in a large city, and she was on edge. They never came right out and admitted fault, but did say they wish there hadn't been such a misunderstanding. Now I can look back and laugh, but at the time it was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced, and it was months until I could stop my car with the doors unlocked again. I completely understand that it might have been a misunderstanding, but you'd think she'd at least go into the car and go, "Are you blank, my Uber driver?" And then he can go, "Oh no, that's not me," and she can go, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean this," or something like that. Karen wants my trolley. As usual, a bit of pretext. While I have a collection of vastly differing skills, my main occupation has me on construction sites. Sites are inherently dangerous places, and every few years one finds oneself in a crumbled heap a few meters below where they were moments previously. Such an occasion occurred to me on Thursday, due to an old ladder rung going for an early retirement while I was resting my entire weight on it. Suffice to say, I gave myself a proper spannering, dislocating and hyperextending my shoulder, giving my opposite knee a good twist, and a decent bruising to match my ego. Friday and the first half of Saturday was spent in a drug-induced haze, with heat packs, hot baths, and enough cursing to make a sailor blush. Late Saturday, my shoulder was still entirely useless, but I was starting to get mobility back into my knee, enough that I felt able to head to the local cheap value store. This particular store has a very limited amount of parking at ground level, but a decent amount at rooftop, with 2 lifts down in the front of the store. Trolleys are often in short supply in the store, so I grabbed one up at a rooftop where they're in plenty, both to make sure I had one, and to act as a bit of a support to my ailing knee and shoulder. Get into the lift, hold the door, door, for a lady hurrying to make it. Down we go. As the doors open, I let the lady go first, due to my busted butt hobbling, and I've barely cleared the lift when a wild Karen grabs the front of my trolley and exclaims, "About time! You people should do a better job restocking trolleys." Her condescending expression gathering a hint of confusion about the eyes, much like storm clouds gathering when I don't immediately let go of the trolley. Now, I'm not a small guy. I'm 105 kg and 6'2", heavily bearded. I'm wearing jeans, sneakers, and a pale blue t-shirt with a small girl kneeling in prayer and text that says, "May they all burn in hell." Fairly distinctly removed from the staff uniform of green vest, light grey shirt, and dark grey trousers. I'm pretty easygoing, but being in pain and low on sleep means I've been getting out of the wrong side of the bed 2 nights in a row, and I have no patience for Karen. There are plenty up in the car park, feel free to go fetch one. Karen's eyes nearly bug out of her head, and she jerks on the trolley while inhaling sharply to feed me some line about her privilege, no doubt, but she doesn't get the chance because her jerk on the trolley had sent a jolt of pain straight up my arm, and my knee was halfway giving out. This presented via a loud grunted "ah" from me, followed by an angry and not particularly quiet "ah, for God's sake, lady, take a look at me and tell me what part of what you see leads you to believe I work here." She didn't immediately let go, but just stood there, mouth agape and slack, eyes trying to find something to make sense of what I just said. I still had one good arm and one good leg. Turns out that was more than enough to push free of Karen's death grip and hobble off. Felt like throwing more abuse at her as I passed regarding her "you people" comment, but couldn't think of anything witty at the time. Saw her pointing me out to a staff member when I was checking out. I pointed to a staff member nearby and mouthed "staff" while nodding my head. Pointed to myself and mouthed "not staff" while shaking my head. Put my bags in my trolley and hobbled back to the lifts. That ending was just amazing, pointing to someone else and going, "He's staff," and then pointing to himself and going, "Not staff, we good? Yeah." I don't work for this airport. So this happened recently while I was at JFK. Me and a few of my childhood friends have been planning on going on a 2-week trip to Europe for years. We hadn't actually gone because, until recently, most of them were in college and I was working full-time. I am actually a pilot, which was part of the problem. So this was our first big opportunity. The cast: me, security officer, Karen, and Karen's daughter, Mary. So at first it was a fairly normal trip to the airport. For me, airports aren't stressful, as I generally have the run of the place. Mostly due to my known crew badge, with my picture and the airline I work for that let me pass TSA with some ease, and go to the pilot areas. So while my friends are waiting in line, I walk over to the side and show my badge to the TSA guy with the wand and he begins scanning me. I actually get through without much issue and turn to wait for my friends. That's when I see Karen staring directly at me. We make eye contact and she waves me over. Now she is in the TSA line, not far enough along to take her shoes off. Now I can't walk up behind TSA and I didn't want to go back through TSA, so I shake my head, not wanting to call out to her. I can see her face getting red. Now I'll say I don't look close to an employee. I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt, quite literally a Lipton shirt. And aside from my badge and my travel bag, I look nothing like a pilot, and I'm only an FO. Seeing my non-compliance, she immediately starts to shout, "What do you mean no? You can't say no to me!" At this point, the TSA officer who had wanded me walks over to her asking her to calm down. She just kept shouting, "Don't you tell me to do anything! My son is a platinum flyer and he got me tickets. You need to do what I say." While I stand there confused, the TSA officer asks her to step out of line and she pulls poor Mary along with her. Karen looked as if she had won a great victory and begins striking past the TSA officer towards me. The officer stops her and she turns on him. Oh, so you're playing favourites now. You'll let some employee walk through like he owns the place and step on customers, but not a platinum flyer. The officer already fed up, and I can't blame him, but he waves me over with a sad expression, as he explains. Look, he's a crewman. He flies for one of the airlines. That's why he gets to go past. I held up my badge for her to see it. Karen, looking at me with her platinum hair fury. So, you do work here and still try to ignore me. I'll make sure you lose your job and your license for this. What the? I don't want to hear a word from you if it's not in the name of your supervisor. I don't work here. I fly for this airline, and I am on vacation. You just admitted you work here, and yet you still ignored me. Luckily for me, Mary was starting to get fed up with her mother and tried to cut in. Karen ignored her, yelling about her son and how he would get me fired for her privilege as a platinum flyer. At this point, I really hadn't gotten in much of a word, but I didn't really need to because Mary finally got a word in on her mother's mindless rant. You need to stop. Mom, we're going to get in line quietly and wait our turn. Otherwise, I've had enough and will simply leave you behind. This shut her up, and I took my opportunity to walk away as fast as I could. The son maybe was a platinum flyer and he was like, oh yeah, I can get you some tickets, mum, no worries. And the mum was like, wow, I'm a platinum flyer's mum now, I can get away with whatever I want. And then Mary had to step in and just be like, shut up, mum. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.